Hey guys, Vegathron here. In today's video, we'll be doing a review for VirtuaVerse. Developed by Theta Division, VirtuaVerse is a point-and-click adventure game set in a futuristic cyberpunk world. In this world, augmented virtual reality, or AVR for short, has taken over, with almost all of the population implanted with permanent AVR chips. You take control of a hardware engineer called Nathan, solving various puzzles around the city in order to locate his missing partner Jay, who has mysteriously vanished and appears to be part of a shady conspiracy. Point-and-click games aren't exactly known for their cutting-edge gameplay. However, at their best, they can be incredibly satisfying and rewarding, especially for those who enjoy problem solving. Puzzles in a good point-and-click game should have interesting and creative solutions, while also being reasonably intuitive. While the puzzles in VirtuaVerse definitely score well in the creativity department, sadly this is tarnished with the overtuned difficulty and unintuitive progression. You shouldn't need a guide open at all times just to enjoy a game, but if you do choose to play blind, expect to be walking back and forth in frustration for possibly hours, trying every item combination in every area. There are many bottlenecks to the story where you won't be able to progress at all until you've clicked on some vague pixel hidden in a seemingly random area. The flip side of this is when you do actually manage to solve a challenging puzzle, it can genuinely feel like you've achieved something. Being able to swap between two versions of the world by taking your AVR headset on and off is one of the more enjoyable aspects of the game, giving it a unique spin on the genre. The inventory and crafting system is standard for a point-and-click game, where you'll often need to combine multiple items or use an item on an object in the world in order to progress. This is done mostly well, but again, the difficulty on some of these riddles is cranked up way too high to be enjoyable, with little to no clues. VirtuaVerse does have a lot of good ideas, and they do sometimes shine through, but sadly, much of the gameplay feels like a chore. Overall, VirtuaVerse gets a 5 out of 20 for gameplay. The world of VirtuaVerse is dark, colourful and deep all at the same time. The game does an excellent job of convincing you there is a huge world to delve into right around the corner and a history to go with it. I was constantly impressed by how well the world was thought out, with all the little niches and dialogue topics that can be discovered. People you meet have their own rich culture that is built around the abundant technology that's present. This is showcased in many different ways, from virtual graffiti gangs to religious cults that worship the now obsolete internet, to illegal drone racers who wage a cryptocurrency, and loads more. Each area of the game is unique and interesting, and shows you a new aspect of what this world has to offer. None of the characters you interact with feel generic, with each having their own unique appearance and dialogue, a lot of which is optional dialogue which helps fill the game's lore and makes the world feel very lived in and believable. The main character Nathan did feel a little underwhelming and is honestly pretty bland as a main character. It's not like I disliked him, but I didn't feel any real attachment for him. It felt more like a vessel to carry items around and let me click on things. Luckily, this is easily overlooked as the world and characters have more than enough personality and style to make up for his shortcomings. As for the game's story, without getting into spoilers, you start off as Nathan, who wakes up to find his girlfriend Jay missing with no explanation. First section of the game has you trying to fix your AVR headset and piece together why Jay is missing and where she could be. You'll have to navigate through various locations in and around the city as you slowly piece together the clues and find new leads. As the story progresses, so too do the stakes, and Nathan will find himself in a lot of situations he probably didn't expect to be in when he woke up that morning. I think the story was solid and had enough twists and mysteries in it to keep me thoroughly hooked. Overall, a solid 17 out of 20 for story and world building. The visuals of VirtuaVerse catch your eye with its vibrant colour palette and striking cyberpunk visuals. The developers have done an excellent job creating a believable cyberpunk environment in pixel art form, and it's probably one of the best looking cyberpunk games that's been done in this style. Every area is rich in detail and there's always something cool to look at. This is especially true while viewing the world through your character's augmented reality headset, which can be toggled, allowing you to see the virtual world that is layered over the physical world. That being said, I did find a few aspects to be ever so slightly lacking. The world is filled with bright colourful neon lights, however, the way the lighting was done just didn't really make them pop. It's almost like one layer of detail was missing from the world. As well as this, I feel the animations were a little stiff and never felt very smooth. Adding more frames to each animation as well as that extra level of detail would have taken the visuals to the next level. Overall, this is still a beautiful looking game, and they still did nail the theme. I give the visuals and style a 16 out of 20. The soundtrack of VirtuaVerse is exactly what you would expect in a game like this. It's not going to blow you away, and you're probably never going to listen to it again outside of the game. However, it does successfully set the tone the game was aiming for, and synergizes well with the theme. As for the rest of the audio, in one aspect, it is done well. You can hear crowds cheering at concerts, drones audibly flying overhead in the foreground, and interacting with objects always has a satisfying sound effect to go with it. On the other hand, the game's lack of voice-acted characters really takes away from the experience. This is especially noticeable in areas without music. This results in sections of the game where all you can hear is the awkward sound of your character going through his inventory. The lack of voice acting can somewhat be remedied with a good imagination, but to me, this is a lost opportunity. Overall, I give the music and audio a 13 out of 20. VirtuaVerse does well to deliver on its cyberpunk theme, combining great visuals, a deep and interesting world, along with the solid soundtrack. The story does a great job keeping you hooked and gives you all the excuses you need to explore this amazing world. All of these factors combined can easily lure you into its world. When you get there, however, the gameplay just doesn't live up to the quality of the rest of the game. Don't get me wrong, the game can still be thoroughly enjoyed if you play it for its other elements, or if you really enjoy difficult puzzles. Overall, with a few bonus points for how unique the game feels, VirtuaVerse gets an 11 out of 20 for XFactor, for a total overall score of 62 out of 100. That's all for this one. If you liked what you saw, consider subscribing so you don't miss out on future content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.